One of the go-to places for all kinds of iris here in Middle Tennessee is Iris City Gardens, owned by Greg and Macy McCullough out here in Primm Springs, Tennessee, and we're with Greg today. Greg, tell me a little bit about these beautiful iris that we're seeing here growing alongside these water lilies.
These are a Japanese water iris. The species name is Iris lavigata. And it comes in various forms, but it likes lots of water. It will actually grow in standing water, as these are. This species is a beardless iris. There's no beard. There's only a signal marking.
Right.
Where the beard usually is.
If people had water lily ponds, koi ponds, those kinds of things, and wanted to add some marginal plants along the edges, this would be
perfect.
Option.
Yes, it would go right in their pond. You can grow them in pots, with no holes, so that the dirt doesn't come out. And we put a little sand on top of ours to keep any of the soil material from floating out, and it keep them the edge a little bit above water, keeps the fish from getting in them. And
this is, I think, just an especially beautiful one. And you mentioned not having any beards, and the iris that we're used to seeing in the garden, or I think what everybody would think of as a typical old-fashioned iris, has that sort of furry beard, if you will, that comes down the fall.
Yeah, caterpillar.
Yeah, kind of like a little caterpillar. And this is in a different group of iris that we would call beardless iris, which you mentioned.
And they like lots of fertilizer and lots of water. So they can be mulched real heavily also, then that helps hold the moisture in. So that's the way we generally grow them in our beds.
Well, and I noticed some others too that I've grown successfully in my garden beds, and several of them are native. So let's go take a look at those.
Okay.
So up here we're looking at some native species and some selections and cultivars of those native species. Iris versicolor. And what other ones do you guys grow?
We grow Iris virginica. We grow Iris pseudochorus.
Yeah.
We grow
I think I saw
several
some
Louisianas.
Fulva
Iris fulvas. We grow a fair number of natives and then native crosses. We grow pseudochorus crossed with Japanese irises.
Okay. And my experience has been that with iris like Iris virginica and Iris versicolor that are a little more marginal plants as far as where they grow, I can grow them pretty successfully in my garden beds.
Yes, they'll grow in just good rich soil.
Right.
With you can mulch them real well, but they don't have to. They don't want to be dry.
They don't have to be standing in water.
Correct, but they can grow in water.
Right.
Just like
they can do either way. They'll either grow in the water, or I tend to grow them with things like my daylilies and those plants that I'm watering regularly anyway.
Yes.
So they'll survive and thrive actually just fine in those conditions.
That's right.
As you can see, you can find an iris for every situation.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.